Violet shot out of a portal and landed in her mansion. She was headed to rescue Victor from the vampire world, but first needed to make a stop at home. She heard a cold voice call out to her.
"Lady Violet, you've finally come home."
She looked over her shoulder to see a maid with short white hair and blue eyes. She was the head maid of Clan Snow.
"Oh, Hilda, it's you. I was just leaving."
Hilda grabbed Violet by her shirt collar.
"Wait."
The force made Violet gag for a second. What? She turned to face Hilda.
"Hilda, are you planning on getting in my way too?"
Hilda noted the determined look in Violet's eyes. Nothing was going to stop her from trying to save Victor.
"Of course not. But as a maid, I have to follow orders. And my order was to bring you home to your mother."
Hilda began dragging Violet as she thrashed wildly.
"Let go of me! I don't want to see that old woman! I'm going to rescue my darling!"
Violet tried to free herself from Hilda's grip, but it was a futile attempt. Hilda stopped walking and stared at Violet, her blue eyes changing to blood red with a troubling realization.
"You did the ritual."
Violet sneered.
"Of course I did!"
But then her expression crumbled.
"Although there were some unforeseen events." "Oh, this is something your mother should know."
Hilda continued dragging Violet as she struggled to break free. Hilda ranted.
"In all the time I've served the Snow family, I've never seen anyone as reckless as you. Except maybe your mother when she was young. But you're not nearly as aggressive as her."
Violet dug her feet into the carpet.
"Fine. You asked for this."
Suddenly, her body was covered in flames. Hilda wasn't impressed.
"Your powers have grown stronger. That's nice."
She punctuated her reaction with the swift spank of Violet's butt.
"Don't be a rude child. You know the rules, right?"
She spoke in a cold tone as her eyes glowed red.
"You're not allowed to use your powers indoors."
Violet snorted.
"I haven't forgotten. I just choose to ignore. Now let go of me!"
Hilda sighed.
"You are such a spoiled child."
Violet got angry.
"I am an adult in the human world. But to us, you're still a newborn baby."
She scanned the house.
"Where's Kaguya and Natalia? Shouldn't they be protecting you?"
Violet stopped struggling, allowing Hilda to drag her.
"Kaguya is protecting my darling, and Natalia stayed behind with Ruby and Sasha."
Hilda shifted her focus.
"What happened to your darling?" "He was kidnapped by Ruby's mother."
Hilda shook her head.
"That's unfortunate. I guess Countess Scathach has taken an interest in your darling."
Violet shot back.
"Of course she would be interested in him. He has great potential."
Hilda smiled.
"Oh."
Hilda and Violet arrived at Violet's family home, a large stately manor. Hilda entered and deposited Violet on the floor in front of her parents.
"Lady Agnes, Lord Adonis, I brought Lady Violet."
Violet's mother, Lady Agnes, was delighted.
"Oh, good job, Hilda."
Violet glared at her mother. She was a curvaceous woman with pale skin and golden eyes, a very unusual eye color even for vampires. She had long white hair that reached to her waist and wore simple glasses.
"Are you still wearing those glasses, Mom? It's not like you have vision problems." "It's an aesthetic choice, sweetie. I look great in glasses."
Violet snorted.
"Whatever." "You're still in the same bad mood. I thought meeting your darling would calm you down a bit."
Agnes sneered. It pained her to even utter the word darling. Violet, hearing the obvious tone of contempt, didn't like it one bit. Violet's eyes darkened.
"What did you say?"
Her voice trembled, fearful of what her insolence would bring. Agnes's face twisted in anger.
"I can't believe you're attached to that worthless plebeian."
Violet's eyes changed to blood red. She stared at her mother like she was about to pounce on her and attack. Agnes was unmoved.
"Daughter, don't fight with your mother. Not only is it low class, it's also foolish. I would demolish you."
Her harsh words contrasted with her gentle tone of voice. Violet ignored her and looked over her father, Adonis. He was a pale, frail-looking man with short white hair and violet eyes. Despite his frailty, he still displayed a supernatural beauty that was far superior to any man or woman Violet encountered. Violet sighed and thought to herself.
It's foolish, but I've always been a bit jealous of my father's gorgeous looks. I wish I had inherited more of that supernatural beauty.
Violet looked at her mother's enormous breasts and thought,
If I inherited those too, then I'd have really hit the jackpot.
Adonis had a gentle expression on his face as he beckoned his daughter closer.
Come here, Violet.
She nodded and walked towards the bed, disturbed to see how weak her father looked.
Are you okay?
She was worried. She was always much closer with her father than her mother. He smiled gently.
Yes, I'm fine. I just need to drink blood and I'll be brand new.
Tears formed in the corner of her eyes.
You're a liar. You always say that, but you never get better.
He laughed in a weak voice and started to cough. Violet rubbed his back as he caught his breath. He smiled warmly at her.
Don't worry about me, child. I want to talk about the good things in life. Tell me about your darling.
Violet bit her lip. She wanted to talk to her father, but she wanted to find Victor first. He clocked her concern.
Are you worried about something?
Violet nodded.
I need to find my darling. He's in danger. Oh, tell me what happened. Maybe I can help.
She climbed into bed and sat up. She looked like a child unburdening herself to her father. A few minutes later, at the end of her tale, Adonis laughed with a gentle smile.
He seems to be an interesting man. I would like to meet him in the future.
Violet beamed.
I will bring him in the future so you can meet him.
Seeing how excited his daughter was, he asked,
Just out of curiosity, you didn't kidnap him, right?
Violet thought for a moment and replied,
No, of course not. Good. As expected, you are very different from your mother.
He was proud. Agnes broke her silence as she stood with her arms crossed.
What are you so happy about?
Adonis looked at Agnes and spoke in a dry tone.
Well, the experience of being kidnapped before the first date can certainly be an alarming first move. It took you some time to realize how wrong that approach was.
Agnes scoffed.
Just forget about it already. That happened 1800 years ago. I'm not the same woman I was before.
He flashed a gentle smile.
Indeed, you're no longer a crazy psychopathic hedonist. Or at least, you're much less of one now.
Agnes rolled her eyes as Adonis continued.
Now you're just a narcissist, and because of that personality, our daughter doesn't like to talk to you.
Agnes shot Violet a wounded look.
That's not true, right? You like me, right?
Violet ignored her mother. Agnes looked like she was close to tears. Adonis sighed and looked at Violet.
Even though your mother is the way she is, I've learned to love her over the years. It took hard work, and it's something we will work on every day. But there's not a single day I wish to be without her. Darling.
Agnes looked at Adonis with possessive eyes. Seeing Agnes's gaze, he smiled back at her. Adonis mustered the strongest smile he could.
Go. Find your darling.
Violet squeezed her father's hand and then leapt off the bed and raced out of the room. Adonis and Agnes heard the front door slam shut behind her. Adonis laughed gently.
I think she's becoming more and more like you, Agnes.
Agnes snorted, but Adonis could see she had a faint smile on her face.
I still don't agree with her choice of husband.
Adonis raised an eyebrow.
Oh, what about your choice of husband? I was once just like her, darling.
Agnes shook her head.
No, you are different from those other humans. Oh, how am I different?
Agnes's eyes glowed as a big smile stretched across her face.
You're mine.
Adonis grinned.
And that's how our daughter feels about her darling. That's why she's willing to do anything for him. May God have mercy on anyone who stands in her way.
Wait, that's not the end. You've just had a free taste. Now get the full story on the Pocket FM app, link in description. Check out our next video and playlist, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.